here are my final thoughts on Senate Bill 45. And before I get into those, there is another Senate bill that is hanging around that is creating a method in which police and non-profit slash non-governmental organizations screen sex trafficking survivors to be registered as sex trafficking survivors to receive resources in Pennsylvania. If everyone does not see the problem with creating this registry of survivors, I want you to think, do we have a similar registry and screening process for rape survivors to receive resources? How about domestic violence survivors to receive resources? Do we need to have like the proof before resources? This is all just a way that they are manipulating and coercing people into working with the police and quickly coughing up money. So I'm going to stop chatting about this and let's get into it. Senate Bill 45 passed the House without a companion bill on July 12th, unanimously through the House. Not one person brought up an amendment. So here's what it's going to mainly do. It is going to reclassify, not just regrade, but reclassify. It's going to move clients of prostitutes from the prostitution crimes code into the sex trafficking crimes code. This is harmful for so many reasons. Mainly, clients of prostitutes are not sex traffickers. Sex trafficking is a form of rape. So they're not the same thing. But here's why they're doing it. Always about the money, right? So the first offense is now a misdemeanor of the 3rd degree and a $2,500 fine. It doesn't say up to $2,500. It just says a $2,500 fine. So you got $2,500 burning a hole in your pocket. That's the first offense. The second offense is a misdemeanor of the 1st degree. And the fines will range between $5,000 and $25,000. The third and subsequent offenses is a felony of the 3rd degree, plus minimum fines ranging from $10,000 to $50,000. This is all a money grab on the side of the state. And the main harmful problem that I see as a sex trafficking survivor is it's moving that into a different classification with a lot of fines and a lot of money, right? The resources are being diverted from rape survivors to go after consensual adults for Pennsylvania's moralistic crusade to get money. They did prompt this, or push this by the one good thing that's in this bill. But guess what? Decrim of prostitution would have gotten rid of that as well. A few lawmakers pushed this as a victory in ending HIV criminalization. However, decriminalizing prostitution would have automatically removed the additional HIV crimes that were enacted against prostitutes. So they manipulated it to make it look like a good thing, whenever in fact this is going to actually create an entire new class of sex trafficking survivors from prostitutes by making our available clients so violent against us, we have no choice but to be saved by the state for the violence and trafficking they created in the first place. So, in addition to fines, these fines, where are they going to go? Well, they're going to put them in 2 places. One, the safe harbor funds for child sex trafficking survivors. Now, we have so many questions about these funds. A, how do sex trafficking survivors access these funds? Because we have a 14-year-old who is sex trafficked in 2024, and we have went to multiple House reps and senators requesting resources from the Safe Harbor Fund, and there's none to be found. Okay, so Safe Harbor has already passed. There should already be funds there. But where are the resources? The other 50% of these funds will go to hold on, I have this really, really big so I can see without my glasses. The other 50% will go to the prevention of human trafficking restricted account. Now, here's the prevention of human trafficking they've been pushing thus far in southwestern Pennsylvania. Detective Joe Rajai and the FBI task force dude on ending trafficking has spent a lot of time and a lot of resources educating the public on how to identify and see something, say something when you see a prostitute. On multiple occasions, I have showed up and questioned this in public. The one time, my question was very specific. Why are you teaching the public to go after and target prostitutes instead of going after and targeting those who are raping children? And of course, that was not very liked. They eventually ended up calling the local cops on me. They thought it would intimidate me. It didn't. So where are any of these resources at, and what prevention methods are they going to be pushing? Because the prevention that needs to be put out there is very specifically that the majority of sex trafficking survivors are trafficked by somebody they know. So we need to start looking at people who have easy access to children instead of all of these white van scare tactics like they did in the past with similar campaigns. Let's not scare the shit out of parents about sex trafficking. Let's educate them so they can educate their children on how to protect themselves, because that's the only prevention we're going to get. And telling kids not to grow up and be a hooker, that's not prevention. That's moralistically, religiously judged bullshit, right? So let's get these resources where they need to go before we think about creating some registry to screen and accept sex trafficking survivors to get resources. All of this, like literally, all it says is the Pennsylvania government doesn't give a damn about people who are poor in vulnerable communities. We have known that, but this is very specific. They're going to create an entire new community of sex trafficking victims out of prostitutes with this legislation. So that way they can swoop in and save us with this registered, screened bullshit. I shouldn't have to go through screening. My dad rape trafficked me when I was 9 and 10 years old. So I shouldn't have to relive that trauma to be screened and accepted as a sex trafficking survivor. What the hell are they even doing? Do we have the same process for rape survivors? Because sex trafficking is rape.